Hello, everybody. We're the Geeks and the Gents. I'm Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum. Today, since we did a multiple of inspirational sports movies, you know what's really inspirational? Family. It's inspirational. Actually, we're doing this because F1 is coming out this year too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The new Drive to Survive is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Brad Pitt
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Drive. Right.
Yeah.
When is it coming out again?
May.
All right.
Yeah. So we can start ahead, and maybe we'll get to the one with the Rock. Who knows? But yeah. How did you get introduced to the first one?
I mean, for sure, like with every kid, you pretty much like watch Fast and Furious when it's just on like HBO or Star Movies
Yeah.
here in the Philippines. And like, of course, you get to see those like really souped up cars. As you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
After playing like Need for Speed Underground, you would just wanna like soup up your car like they are in Fast and Furious. Even though to today's standards, it's not really it aged poorly. Unless you want to pull it off, like go nuts. But like that's not the style today. With like the whole livery, the gigantic wing. The underglow. There's some that pulls that off, but yeah, and it's just whimsical to a child. You're just like, wow, are those fast cars? Some of them are.
Are they
all
cars?
fast? No.
No. Yeah. I like everybody else in the Philippines. I watched this in Star movies. To be honest, though, like Tokyo Drift was on the most since it's the most popular one, and
That's my
like.
favorite.
It's like, for me at least, it's the second, or it's either first or second best one, depending on time of day, because I do like 5 a lot. But yeah,
5 is pretty good too.
yeah. But like, to be honest, watching this again, I was like, damn, this really is from the 2000s. Like, just the vibe and the choice of music and the color, even especially the color grading, where I'm like, yeah, I didn't know Los Angeles looks like this. Didn't know it's just brown.
Orange.
Yeah, orange brown.
It's just orangey brown. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
And I love how Brian thought this. Like, he's very dude,
yeah.
very gnarly. He just looks like a guy who owns a surfboard, which he was.
Yeah, I mean, people do say this is Point Break, but with cars, and they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But like, to be honest, when I saw Dom like breaking up the fight between Brian and the other guy, I was like, right. In the past, Vin Diesel Kodak, it's not just and family. He like had emotion with him, you know.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, like Dom, like Vin Diesel as Dom was such a big character here. And
Yeah.
like, I love this character here when he would like straight up shout and stuff. Like even in the movie Pacifier, he was a really good actor there.
Yeah, and you're kind of
Yeah.
like, what happened along the way, man? You were pretty good.
Yeah, he just stuck to like the
Yeah, and like that first race between him, Brian, and the rest of the gang, where it feels like it really is illegal, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
cool. Seeing these
Yeah.
soup up cars, and like, of course, the big twist is Brian is an undercover agent trying to find out who's stealing these DVDs from truckers, and you're like, the grand scheme of things, I don't know how this requires the FBI to get involved, but okay.
Well, they did mention that it's like they're stealing millions.
That is true.
So like they're like, oh, okay, hold on,
Yeah.
you know.
Also, I do like seeing the villain here. It made me miss the days when the villains of Fast and Furious were just street level, not like internationally renowned assassins or like people who can
Yeah.
control cars like Charlize Theron. I'm like, I kind of wish the threat was still in the streets, you know, not whatever Jason
like the
Momoa was.
triad,
Yeah,
like some gangsters.
you really do see the chemistry between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and like that's unfortunately what's been missing for obvious reasons. But I'm like, I don't think the Fast and Furious really has any other dynamic as great as Brian and Dom Toretto.
I agree. I
Yeah.
really do. Like, say what you will about like Han and what's his name again, Sean.
Oh,
Um,
Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean. I don't know who Sean is.
Sean's the Texan boy who goes to Tokyo.
Ah, right. Sorry.
Anyway, my God, I might have gotten his name. Anyway, yeah, like they did try to make like a Tyrese Gibson and like Paul Walker kind of duo, same as like Vin Diesel esque and Paul Walker, but it just I was like nah, you can't replace it. They were too good. But I love the dynamic. I love that Dom Toretto was the type of guy who's like, you know, you could be part of my family. I can trust you, and like it's very honest to a degree. Where like he's like, yo, you just do the work, I'll pay you. You gain my respect. You could use whatever you need here. I'm like, not gonna lie, I was like, man, if I was born around that time and like people who were stealing DVDs were that cool, I'm like, man, I would be stealing DVDs with like a Supra. I'm like, that would be cool.
He also has moments where he is intimidating, like when they catch Brian for the first time, and he's like, you have to be very honest with me. Are you a cop? And Brian's just like, no. I think if that was me, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I would like, you got me. I would have been a horrible undercover cop.
Yeah, like he's scary. Just his forehead is scary. I give up.
I will say I do love the race scenes. I do love the cars here. I love the Eclipse that Brian has. The green one. And but the show stealer before the Supra and the Charger is Dom Toretto's RX-7. Yeah. And I was just like, I forgot he has an RX-7. I forgot that was his main car before he was known as the guy with a muscle car.
Yeah.
And I was just like, right. Sorry, go on.
Like saying, yeah, you're right. Like I always thought his main car, like when he's with John Cena and The Rock, is his main car. Forgot he started somewhere. I'm like, right. That's where he started.
He had a Japanese supercar, like sports car. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a more tangible feel to this movie where they're like street racing and they show what the cars are made of, how good they can go, and like especially in the desert race, like even though the stakes are big, it never escapes the feeling of like, this is believable. This is how life for Dom and his gang is. Unlike unfortunately Fast 5 is great, but past that you're like, I don't believe anything anymore. What do you mean?
Like I just want the heist movies kind of deal.
Yeah.
Or the street racing shit, because those are really good. Like I will say the whole like, you know, the mechanical jargon that they spew out, like, you know, Jesse's the kid with like, who's like, he knows his engines. He knows it. There's some things he gets right, but there are a lot of times where I'm just like, what? Sure, whatever you say, man.
Sure thing, boss.
Yeah, and especially like the laptop saying danger to manifold. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And like the floor panel like gives out. I was like, why does that happen?
Right? I'm like, interesting. Oh well. Yeah. Like, it's funny how the franchise has milk some of the things they say here, like Dom's whole like, I love life a quarter inch of a mile, something like that. Like he keeps saying, and never mind, whatever. It's been so drained into my head. I'm like, I can't paraphrase it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like from those like real solid like moments where you're like thankful for a while, where like maybe Dom has a point, to like later on where like, you're just saying that because they pay you to say that. Shut up. We don't need more family. Please, I beg of you. This family's too big.
I do love this entire universe that they started. Like if we didn't have the whole Fast and Furious train wreck that is like 7 upwards. Yeah. No offense to 7, I know that was his last film, but like it.
If we're being real.
Yeah, if we're just being real. Like seeing Fast and Furious, it is a really good concept. Street racers, undercover cops being too attached to the criminals.
Yeah.
That has become part of his life and his family.
Yeah.
Like this guy is tuning up cars with the guys that he's trying to turn in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know, the dynamic is just like, oh, that's very interesting. Like, I finally sat down and watched this thing with a fully developed mind because I'm now 26. And I'm just like, I didn't know it was that deep.
Right? And like again, there are moments where you're like, damn, but Vin Diesel is quite scary. Like when he's walking out the shed with a shotgun, and Brian's trying to stop him. If I was Brian, I'd be like, I'll let you go. Go rescue the kid.
Yeah. God, I love that Supra.
Yeah.
The orange Supra. And like what it does to the Ferrari, like more than you could afford pound, and it just destroys them. I'm like, so good. Alright, I'm in it for the cars.
Yeah, I mean that's why we all started watching Fast and the Furious. Just we're like, that car looks nice, and then later on you're like, how do they know how to shoot? What did they miss?
Yeah. Like how did they know how to hack like government or like super top secret like computers? I'm like, okay, you do you.
Like when we go to the sequel, when you meet Ludacris, you're like, I could have sworn you just sold illegal stuff on the internet. And it was just like a hacker in the 2000 sense, not like I can hack world security banks for some reason. You're like, huh? But yeah, seeing where this franchise starts, you're kind of wish it stayed in this area. Like,
even Vin Diesel's already saying is like he kind of wants Fast and Furious to go back a bit.
Yeah, I mean that's probably because the last one bombed. But anyway,
Oh shit.
yeah. But yeah, it is nice seeing where everything started, and like even though you long for it, you're like, it is an interesting evolution. Like, if we sat someone down for the first time and you like made them watch, they'll probably think you skipped the movie because they'll be like, how do they know how to do a heist? How do they know how to fire firearms? What did we miss? I'm like, I don't know, man. Somewhere between 4 and 5, I guess they trained. But yeah. Do you have anything to add to this classic? Yeah. And I say it's a classic even though it has like 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm like, if you were born in the day, you know in your heart what the score is.
Yeah.
But that being said, what would you rate the first Fast and Furious?
I would rate Fast and Furious like an 8.
Yeah.
It's just too close to my heart kind of deal.
Yeah.
I love watching it with my friends. I love collecting Hot Wheels with my friends. Just like and like playing Need for Speed, getting fully inspired by like the Supra, the Eclipse, the RX-7. I wasn't much of a muscle car kind of guy, but like that Charger is still pretty cool to see, and I would love to have that as a like the Hot Wheels toy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just too close to my heart. I had too many good times rewatching this movie, and I had a good time rewatching it for this review because I'm just like, holy shit, I didn't know it actually went that deep.
Right? You're like,
it's fun. It's fun seeing like what do you call it? It's fun seeing like all these actors at their heyday. It's fun seeing like a Filipino actor try to play as a as a Chinese triad.
Right? I'm like,
It's like, I know that actor, and he's not Chinese. Maybe he's partially Chinese. I don't know. I'm partially Chinese.
True. But you're like, you know what? It's the 2000s. I'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide. He's Asian. That means triad.
Yeah, I really can't see myself giving this anything lower than an 8 because I'm just like, it's Fast and Furious, man. I have no hate against it. I can't.
Yeah.
Like the dynamic between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker is great. The racing scenes are great. And the heists are pretty like intense. Like the last scene when the poor guy's just hanging by his arm, I'm like, fuck, I forgot when it's real, it's more intense. Even though the Rio heist with the Bolt is pretty cool, like this again feels just real, especially when he's bleeding out towards the end. I'm like, oh fuck, shit, real stakes, right? This is not where like The Rock can kick a missile, and you're like, how do you do that? Okay.
I will say, sorry, I forgot to mention this. I will say I did have a bit of problem with the racing where it's just like them drag racing when majority of the cars that they've used are clearly meant for track.
Yeah.
I mean, the Supra can do a straight line very well. so can the Charger, but like the other cars, I was like, I wish they utilized it in cornering, it doing turns, which is what they do for Fast and Furious 2. No, Fast and the Furious.
Are you talking about the second one?
No, I'm talking about the fourth one.
Oh,
I did like Fast Furious or something.
I
Like
think so.
they took out some words.
Yeah. Like they always play around with the words, and you're like, "What's it called again?" Fuck.
Yeah. Like that whole movie where they start like turning, they start doing real street racing. I'm like, yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, I also forget that like Vin Diesel disappears from the franchise for like the next 2 movies. I'm like, right, it's not about him. Yeah, but yeah, to the audience watching, what's your favorite Fast and Furious movies, or like obviously 2000s movies, like where you can put the blindfold on, you turn on music, and you're like, what music is this from? And you're like, oh, Fast and Furious. I think could be any, could be Step Up as well with Channing Tatum, But yeah, -5. What's yours?
Like like our favorite Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Oh, or soundtrack, or is that what you're trying to say?
Movie. Fast and Furious movie.
Now that you mentioned, like you put a blindfold on me, like you make me listen to music. Something that I would know instantly is Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift is my favorite one, where they just there was some stealing and some action on the side, but it was mostly about street racing, which is what I love the most. It's just seeing Japanese cars going crazy, seeing how souped up they were. I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, I say that some cars here kind of age a little poorly. Every car in Tokyo Drift aged perfectly. Just saying, if you had any of like the iconic like the S15 that Han had, or like his Veilside RX-7, or like the Evo, I'm just like, those are sick. Even seeing it today, I'm like, I want that just as is. I would never change anything.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet cars. I'm like, damn. I think it's Nolan's favorite too, Tokyo Drift. Yeah. But yeah, well, that's been our video for the Fast and Furious 1. What do you guys think? If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Whether you're stuck in traffic because of Christmas this year, or you're riding a souped up car on the road, that'd be pretty sweet.
Or you could be riding a souped up car stuck in traffic.
Yes!
That's mostly the Philippines.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not in the Philippines, you probably have freedom, But if you're in the Philippines, you can listen to us while you're in the Skyway traffic that's building up every day.
We're running away from the cops. We don't know.
That's none of our business, but yeah, we don't know either. But yeah, you can also find me individually at Zoda's Voices on TikTok and Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can I find you?
You can find me at JohnGM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.